Hello everyone, we are studying thermodynamics, and from today's video lecture we will study thermodynamics from a different perspective. So we are going to study thermodynamics of materials. So we all know that materials, everything is made up of material, and materials behave differently with different temperature, pressure, conditions. And material has some sort of, let's don't think this as a material, think this as a system. So every system has some free energy, which is gives free energy, and this is what determines how, with changing T and P, temperature and pressure, the state of material will change. So if all of this went above your head, let's take a simple example. I'll take example of ice. For time being, let's keep pressure to be constant. Now we know this is a material, or let's say this is our system. So as we heat up ice, it will melt, it will become water. So what was this? This was change of state. Change of state, or we can say this as a phase transformation. Phase transformation. And what was responsible for change of state or phase transformation? Temperature and pressure were responsible for that. So that's what I said. A property of material or change in the property of material will depend on temperature and pressure. And will this phase transformation take place or not? That is, will this ice melt into water or not? It will depend on G. So G is our gives free energy, as we studied already. A system will want to stay in a state with least G, least energy. Now if a system goes from one state to another, and the energy decreases, that is G decreases, that is delta G equals to negative. So this is what we studied in the previous lecture and called as spontaneity. So a system will go under phase transformation, or you can say a system will go under transformation from one state to another if energy decreases or if delta G is negative. So this was sort of our revision. Now let us see the topic for today's video, that is gives free energy and its variation. So for now we know that this G thing is responsible, or I should write delta G is responsible for state change, and we know that this G depends on temperature and pressure. We know that. We also have the equation, that is H minus Ts. So these are the things that we have already known. Now I can also write this delta G equals to delta H minus T delta S, keeping temperature to be constant. Now since it depends on T and P, pressure and temperature, let's see how they vary. I mean how this G varies with temperature and how G varies with pressure. For now I am not giving you some data that, I mean G also has some value, some 300 or 400 kilojoule per mole. So I am not giving you that data. I am not plotting this G. For now just consider this to be some energy, and how this energy changes with variation of T, and how this free energy changes with variation of pressure. So this probably will be the topic for next video, because this will take our time. And let's study with variation of G with temperature change. Now we know delta G equals to delta H minus T delta S. A system is going from state 1 to state 2, and that's the condition when delta G is negative. If we go for boundary condition, that means just a little bit of more energy and transformation will take place. So that boundary condition is nothing but equilibrium condition, and that is delta G equals to 0. Equilibrium condition. Now At equilibrium, delta G will be 0. Putting G 0 here, we'll get delta H equals to T delta S. And let's take an example of melting. We have a solid which melts. So temperature will be T melting. So I can write this a phase transformation or simple transformation at T melting point. Delta G is 0, so this Tm will be nothing but T melting. So delta H equals to T melting delta S, or delta S is nothing but delta H by T melting. Now I'll rub this. We saw delta G equals to delta H minus T delta S at equilibrium or at T melting condition. Delta G is 0, so we got delta H by Tm equals to delta S. Now again we'll go in this equation, delta G equals to delta H minus T delta S. Let's put this delta S value here. Delta G will be delta H minus T. Delta S is nothing but delta H by Tm. So delta H, we take that common, we get Tm minus T upon Tm delta G. I can write this as delta T. So delta G equals to delta H delta T by Tm. So we can see that delta G, that is gives free energy change for a reaction, For this case we took melting depends on this delta T. As delta T increases, this delta G will increase, and delta G, if positive, this will not be spontaneous, and delta G equals to negative, this will be spontaneous. So now we can see delta G negative depends on this delta T, so that is Tm minus T. So we can clearly see that this T should be greater than Tm for melting, and that's all we know about. We know that melting temperature should be a bit greater than Tm. And why is that so? To keep this delta G to be negative. So this is our equation, delta G equals to delta H delta T by Tm. So this is how we can see the Gibbs free energy changes with temperature. So that's all for this video.